Ugh, vampires. Most useless of all undead. They are best left out of functioning undead armies altogether, lest their incurable bloodlust and myriad other weaknesses become a liability. No game better illustrates these vampiric limitations than 2004's bug-ridden Vampire the Masquerade. Bloodlines, and no quest better than
Vampires are immortal. That's something.
immortal unless someone opens a curtain between sunrise and sunset. Can I continue? Ugh. No game better illustrates these limitations than Vampire the Masquerade. Bloodlines, and no quest better than The Ghost Haunts at Midnight. Even before the quest begins, the game makes clear that life as a vampire is no romantic fantasy. The vampire protagonist looks ridiculous, controls poorly, suffers from dozens of bugs, flails ineffectively in combat, is easily slain by even the lowliest of mortals, and, worst of all, must feed on living humans like the basest of insects. Yet with all of these failings, their delusions of grandeur persist, even as they step inside a haunted hotel where their so-called vampiric powers amount to nothing. The quest itself begins when players are tasked by fellow vampiric non-entity Therese Vorman with, wait, why is she dressed like a mundane mortal businesswoman?
Vampires trying to blend into mortal society is the central premise.
Blend into mortal society? Ugh. She could at least attempt a cape. Ugh. Well, Vorman, capeless, demands the player retrieve a locket from the Ocean House Hotel, a supposedly terrifying ruin inhabited by a few minor poltergeists who can do little more than blow out 50-year-old lights, a trick they employ relentlessly, as if there can be no greater terror than unexpectedly having to replace a bulb. Of course, casting even a basic soul snare outside the hotel would have solved the problem before it began. But vampires have no magical aptitude whatsoever. Instead, after attempting to drink the hotel's blood fails, they are reduced to trying to overpower the building with brute strength. Thus, what should be a face-off between two relatively minor undead beings becomes a lopsided embarrassment, as the vampire thrusts themselves into harm's way again and again, determined to make their so-called immortality as brief as possible. It is not even as if all of the spirits are hostile. One is explicitly trying to secure the vampire's aid to avenge her decades-past murder, but the vampire needs constant guidance. Though the house is extremely linear, the ghost must still manifest multiple times to point the way, and this spirit is herself no genius. When confronted with her axe-wielding husband, she begs for help in her journal. Why not simply flee? Unless the journal was in fact the wish-granting tome of Xey'cul'thazar. But how could a mere mortal obtain such a powerful artifact?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, look into it. By the third floor, the spirit has clearly realized her would-be savior is unable to follow even basic clues, and a more straightforward approach is demanded. Thus, the final section of the hotel is merely a series of moody rooms, full of awkward and poorly implemented magical effects. Then, after some awkward and poorly implemented jumping, the spirit gives up on the haunted hotel concept entirely, and in some sort of awkward and poorly implemented time travel segment, simply restores the hotel to its original form in the perhaps naive hope that the vampire can be trusted to walk in a straight line across a mundane room. So the Ocean House Hotel should be an example of evil done right, of the player finding themselves trapped in an incomprehensible situation where no amount of skillful button pressing or powerful weaponry will allow them to escape. But for a vampire, all situations are beyond their comprehension, so they cannot even comprehend that they have faced the incomprehensible. And so they simply carry on flailing through a world they cannot possibly understand until, ideally, they are eaten by a werewolf. If you enjoyed this exploration of the Ocean House Hotel, subscribe to this channel. I assure you I will not harness the power of your souls to safeguard my own properties.
Could you maybe word that a little differently?
What? I claimed I would not harness the power of their souls. I thought it sounded believable.